segment is sponsored by iChiro Clinics. Want to know some of the benefits of chiropractic care? It improves back and neck pain, reduces the reliance on opioid pain relievers, may even boost your athletic performance. Dr. Michael Quast is with iChiro Clinics here to talk about the benefits of chiropractic care, especially when it comes to simply masking your pain. Not a good idea, right, Dr. Quast?
That's right. A lot of people don't realize that taking a pain pill, while it makes you feel better, it's not fixing the underlying cause. I use the example, it's kind of like if your car was making a really squeaky noise and you're driving down the road and it's like squeak, squeak, squeak. And you're like, oh my gosh, you pull into the mechanic and you said to the mechanic, hear that noise? And he goes, oh yeah, that's bad, but I can fix it for you. And you go, okay, great. And he just reaches in and turns your radio up really loud and you can't hear it now. And he goes, there, it's fixed. And you drive away. That's what taking pain pills is like. It just masks it, but it's not fixing what's going on underneath the hood, right?
And you have tried this at kind of a crisis level in our country.
Yeah. So, if you just look around, the amount of opioids people are using and all the problems with that, people get addicted to the painkillers because again, it's not fixing what's wrong. It's just masking momentarily. As soon as it wears off, it comes back. What the heck? People can smoke marijuana and not feel things, and you can just drink vodka all the time and you won't hurt, but that's not like fixing what's wrong. And what's wrong is typically going to be a hidden stiffness or tightness that people have. Because, it's different. We're not talking about people who are at end of life hospice care. We're talking about like people who are like relatively healthy, they're trying to do stuff, and they have like aches and pains. And these aches and pains are typically going to be from, doing things, and then they hurt themselves a little bit, but they didn't really know what, and they kind of just blow it off. And then these little things, they add up like straw on a camel's back until suddenly the person's having all kinds of problems. And then they think that taking pills is fixing it. But really it's that like unknown stiffness that they have.
What does it look like, the getting to the root of the problem and figuring out what's causing the pain? What's an assessment with you look like, Dr. Quast?
Yeah, so basically we check people's mobility and range of motion, how far they can bend and move and twist and turn and all of that. The thing is, people don't realize that they have bad mobility because it doesn't hurt yet. So I just had a lady come in. She comes in, she can barely walk. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did you do? She's like, I picked a dandelion. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like a 50-pound dandelion? Like, how's a dandelion hurting your back, right? It's not. It was a little tiny one. So that wasn't it. What it was is she had severe restrictions in her hip mobility, but she didn't know. She doesn't even know how much her hips are supposed to move, because who does, right? And who checks it? Nobody. We do, but we checked her hip mobility, found that restriction, and that was causing her back to strain every time she did a dumb nothing, like picking a dandelion. So it's finding these tight areas that people just, in our society, we're just not taught about. So people aren't aware of even how far they're supposed to be able to bend and move.
And then I think a lot of people have the thought, who are not familiar with chiropractic care, that you go in once and Dr. Quast will, work me over and put me back out on the road. I'm going to feel great. It's a process becoming healthy about the body, right?
Yeah, it's just because you're dealing with muscle and tissue. So where that comes from is people think that their vertebrae like pop out of place and then chiropractors will pop it back in. But that's not how it works. If your vertebrae popped out of place, you would sever your spinal cord, you'd be in the ER, you would not be galloping into the chiropractor, right? There's no way. So it's not popping out of joint. What is happening are the muscles are spasming and contracting. We're actually working on those muscles. So anytime you work on muscles, just try it. Go to the gym once and then come out and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm still out of shape and fat. What the heck? The gym didn't work. That's not a realistic expectation. So because people don't understand that we're actually working on the muscle, it sets them up for a lot of misunderstandings. And that's why we try to teach everybody how everything works. Then we get great results because they understand it. But certainly you're not going to change a muscle in a visit any more than you go do sit-ups today and tomorrow you're thin and fit and have a six-pack. I wish.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, if you'd like that initial assessment, contact iChiro Clinics. Their website is iChiroClinics.com. Dr. Quast, thanks.